Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about kennel accidents. For the newcomer, I don't think you're going to have to deal with this. Maybe once in a blue moon. It's been bred out of them now, the urge to fight. So you probably won't have this problem, but that gene is still going to jumble, and you're going to get a few that you're going to have to watch around other dogs or other animals. And if you have one, there's nothing to be ashamed of. The best of us has had them. I know probably every famous breeder has had one. You just got to try to buy the right stuff. I mean, I always use the axle setup deal. I bought the best chains. I bought the best swivels. Everything, and you're still going to have problems. Through time, some of those things become loose. I know at one point I used the the clips to clip on there. I know I learned my lesson on using copper rings around the collar. I had a dog that actually broke that, and went over there, and I had a kennel accident. Luckily, I was there when it happened, so I didn't lose any dogs. But whether it's chain setups or kennels, it really doesn't matter. And even if you have like concrete in the kennel, I had a bitch one time chew a hole through a kennel and get out. So whether you have a kennel, whether you're on a chain setup, just be aware that there's always a possibility of a kennel accident. And my opinion, you should still have a breaking stick. Some people call them parting sticks. I remember reading an article of Gary Hammond years ago. He said, if you have a breaking stick, you know, to the non-fraternity, you know, Humane Society and all them, it's a, you know, it's like it's a sign of a dog fighter. If you're in the fraternity, you know, it's just a sign of having a brain cell. It's just something you need because you never know when you're going to need it. And the one I was talking about, I put a copper ring around a dog's collar. His name was Hammer, off Champion Gambler and Heidi. And he ran over to his half-brother, Corvino, which was a Champion Gambler, Lilu, excuse me, bitch, double bred, Iron Lines Braddock. And lucky for me, I was out there, and the thing I can tell you most is just don't panic. With any emergency situation, just don't panic. They're not going to kill each other in a few minutes, and sometimes you have to be creative. When those two started going at it, I was there, so it was full speed. I'm like, okay, don't panic. Went and got my breaking stick, come out. It's next to impossible for one guy to part two dogs. So I had a well out there, well water, and I had a hose hooked up to it. So the dog that was off the chain was Hammer, and he got that big head like Merritt Spud had, his grandpa. But I focused on the dog that wasn't on a chain so I could just get him away. And you know what, I got that backwards. Corvino got loose and went over to Hammer's side. But at any rate, I tried to get one's mouth parted, and it took me a while. It was hard as hell, but I just stayed calm. I got the breaking stick in one's mouth, while simultaneously I had the nose on, had the hose on one of them's nose and cuffing my hand around it. So when they run out of breath, they got to let go. So as soon as they parted, I grabbed Hammer. I was still in Corvino's chain space. He ran and jumped up trying to get at Hammer, and I turned my back, and he hit me in the back and knocked me forward, and I got out of there, and it was no big deal. But it's just something that just comes with the territory. I lost a brood bitch named Dita. I lost a straight male off of Braddock and Haddie that I had high hopes for in a kennel accident. And like I said, it happens to the best of them. I mean, in later years, Mike had an accident. He had a bad little bitch, Mike Norrod from Ironline. He had a bad little bitch named Abator. And I can't remember if he was keeping a dog for a friend and treating it. I can't remember if it had demodectic mange. And back then, we would buy stuff called tactic, and you just put it all over the dog so it would heal. You still don't want to breed to that dog, but if you're not going to call it, then you put that on there. But you couldn't put it on the male's genitalia or make them go sterile. That's how strong this stuff was. So Mike had, bathed, for lack of a better term, this other dog. Somehow Abator got loose. She ran over, started whipping that dog, and obviously till, Mike didn't know how long they'd been going at it, and that tactic she ingested, and it killed her. He also had a kennel accident with Champion Bear, who had a lot of mouth, and Muhammad Ali, who was a 2-time winner. I can't remember what happened, but I guarantee he would have needed another person to get those two separated. And he had a little bitch. Well, I mean, little weight-wise. She was a long-legged bitch named Lightning Bug. She was off of Braddock, a 1-time winner, and she was off of I think Peaches, that was a 1-time winner. And this is just for historical purposes. This is years ago. And Mike said he kept hearing the dogs bark, but wasn't thinking much of it. And a neighbor pulled up on the lawnmower and said, "How long are you going to let those dogs fight, Mike?" And he said, "I didn't know they was fighting. I thought they was barking about your damn mower." He said, "No, there's a little bitch on her back, and there's a big male on top of her, but she's whipping the fuck out of that dog." So he went back there, and it was her son. I can't remember what his name was, but he had Red Devil in him, one of them Indian Prairie dogs, and said that she just, she was just, she was tearing him up, man, even though she was on the bottom and he was bigger. But he'd actually said that he bred her. She was just tested. He bred her to get pit dogs, to be a brood bitch of pit dogs, to produce. And I know another time, he used to have a stud dog named Maynard, off of Cassius Clay, another 1-time winner. And he said that Maynard didn't want to fight. He was just going over there looking for some loving. And he said she started dismantling him real quick, because she had mouth. So mouth ability, all that. So it was 2 kennel accidents he had with her that was whipping the hell out of them males that were bigger. But just those stories are in there to let you know that, there was a, my opinion, one of the all-time greats, and he had kennel accidents too. So you shouldn't get a lot. Like I said, that's been bred out of them so much. But it is possible now and then you'll get one, and just helps to have a breaking stick. It helps to buy the best equipment, best chains, best swivels, all that, all your clamps and everything. I've forgotten all the terminology of those, all the things I use, but just buy the best. If you put them in a kennel, just be aware that they can chew a hole through it. Not all of them, but you just have some that they'll just say, "I'll chew a hole and get out, to heck with it." So there was just a little bit for the newcomer about kennel accidents, how to try to avoid them. I didn't have a lot of trouble with this. A lot of times breeding, the male will want to breed. A lot of times the bitch, because her hormones, she's wanting to whip the hell out of him. So I think the only time I had trouble with that was me and a buddy was going to breed Gaines Motorhead that loves be red, both game dogs. And I told my buddy, I said, man, I forgot to bring a breaking stick over. You got one? And he said, oh, we don't need one with these two. No, I think we should have a breaking stick. He goes, no, that'll be all right, man. So at the time, I think he owned Motorhead. Later on, then we co-owned him. And then he got him back, just was his dog again. But we got him bred, and they got tied up. And as soon as he fell out, they both turned around, reared up to go at it. Of course, me and him ain't no rookies. I grabbed her, he grabbed him. He was like, damn, Mark, you was right. I said, I told there was something about these two. Got along great, sniffing each other. Got along great, you know, being mated. Got along great being tied up, because I believe I've seen them tied up and try to go at it. And so the breeding, sometimes you could have trouble at any part of the breeding, whether you're starting it, whether they're in the act, whether they're tied. After they, you know, he falls out, there's always a possibility of that, you know, being on a chain, being on a kennel. Just hope you never have these problems. If you do, just always be calm, you know, holler for help. If you don't have help, figure out how to get them parted. And that's just a little bit for the newcomer on Kennel Accidents. I hope everybody has a good day.